Hi, I'm Patty Ann Brown. Hillary Clinton has declared herself part of the resistance and blames her election loss on FBI Director James Comey and Russian hackers. The former Secretary of State is also reportedly starting a super PAC. Meanwhile, former President Barack Obama is giving paid speeches and setting up his foundation. What will the reemergence of these two Democratic heavyweights mean for our political climate? Here to discuss, partner at Chatterton Lestingi Creative Strategies, Joe Lestingi, and the founder of Bold Global, Carrie Sheffield. Thank you both for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
So both former politicians claim their priority is to oppose the Trump agenda. Carrie, what do you make of these two Democratic leaders coming back in the spotlight?
Well, what they're doing really shows no lack of reflection and lack of understanding why Democrats lost very deeply. So when you look at Hillary Clinton, the fact she's blaming the Russians, nobody Russian told people who love Trump to wait for hours in the cold and in the rain. Nobody hacked them and told them to do that. Nobody hacked the Clinton voters and had so few show up to her rallies. Nobody showed her that, you know, as Woody Allen said, most of life is just showing up. She wasn't showing up, and that was her. That had nothing to do with the Russians, first of all. Secondly, in terms of Barack Obama, he's getting $400,000 from Wall Street. Meanwhile, he's pretending to say that Democrats stand up and they're trying to go after Wall Street. As a capitalist, I'm fine with that, but I think that the inauthenticity is going to be very transparent to voters in 2018 and beyond.
You know, Joe, President Obama is being criticized by Democrats, the Bernie Sanders camp, for accepting that $400,000 from this Wall Street firm. It's for a speech at a healthcare conference so he can tout Obamacare. He is no longer in office. At least one Democratic strategist says, look, it's counterproductive for liberals to be holding people to what he calls a strict purity test instead of focusing on opposing Trump. What do you say?
Yeah, I mean, as much as I love reflecting on the past, and I will always miss Barack Obama as our president, this is about moving forward into the future. And the fact that Barack Obama is taking a message to Wall Street and getting paid for it, and by the way, it's probably a message they don't like and they don't want to hear, you can't get any converts unless you make the argument directly to them. So for all the liberals that are giving him, you know, stink over this, they have to understand that the message is what's important, and if he gets paid for it, he's allowed to. Every president gets paid for speeches after they leave the presidency. It's just part of who they are. They're a big, high-profile person, and that's how they affect change after the election. But we're about moving forward from this. With Hillary Clinton and her book tour and him standing up to do these speeches, none of that matters about what's going on today in the country with the pure gridlock in D.C., the efforts to repeal pre-existing conditions out of ACA. All of that is what we're here to talk about, and that's what Democrats are going to stay focused on rolling into the 2018 elections.
Carrie, Mrs. Clinton is forming a super PAC, as Joe mentioned, a book tour, but she did, in her most recent appearance, focus on excuses for why she lost. She mentioned misogyny among the things that you already mentioned. How much influence does she have? Even some Democrats are saying she would be better off just kind of going quietly away.
Yeah, I think she would be better fit as being sort of a stateswoman who is a post-partisan figure, focusing on issues that are really bipartisan or nonpartisan at this point, because a lot of people just found her to be very, very inauthentic. So I think if she wants to have more impact on the average American, she needs to work on re-imaging herself as an authentic person and finding out who this person is in terms of, having an actual connection with people instead of just being a robot. That was the rap on her. So I think there are a lot of things she can do instead of just trying to get back into the political fray, because she's really not good at that. Like she lost very badly to Barack Obama, during the primary, and then she lost to one of the most, unpopular Republican candidates in modern history, and she lost to him. So I just don't think that if Democrats want to be looking at the future, that Hillary Clinton represents that. I think that she's not very good in terms of connecting with people.
Joe, you get the last word.
I totally disagree, because let's go back to the first statement Carrie you made, which is showing up matters and participation matters, and that's where she got 65 million votes and he got 62. So therefore, yes, showing up did matter, just in the electoral math it didn't work out. She was still very popular. She's still very popular amongst our base. There are a lot of young women who look up to her. In fact, in my daughter's room I have a poster of her just so she can remember how important it is that women continue to pursue this. And look at the organizations like Emerge and Run for Something that have seen massive, and Emily's List even, have seen massive influence and increases in women coming out and saying, hey, look,
no, but you know what? Those groups are not inclusive. Those groups are not pro-women. They exclude pro-life women like me. I have no place in the Democratic Party.
They are pro-choice, organizations that support pro-choice women, and that's okay
Narrow.
with them. There are conservative groups that do the same thing. I'm not, Right to Life isn't out there recruiting pro-choice women, so it's okay. They're allowed to do that. What matters is
there
that
was
these
Joe,
women,
finish up and then we're done.
these women came on their own volition and said, I want to stand up and run for something, and they are doing it in massive droves.
All right.
And that shows the enthusiasm that's out there, both for Hillary Clinton and the Democratic Party right now.
All right, we're getting a wrap. Joe, Carrie, thank you both so much for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
And for complete political coverage, stay right here on FoxNews.com. I'm Patty Ann Brown. Thanks for watching.